Mike here. Hey guys, I know it's been a super long time since I made a video, and I apologize about that, but it's actually Saturday, the April 14th, and it's about 12:30 in the morning, and I'm going to start smoking this brisket. I work nights, and I figure I can do most of the smoking while I'm awake, and then tomorrow morning when I'm taking a little nap, when it's not as critical, I can just let the smoker go. I'm actually going to use hard oak, and I got some seasonings. I'll get to that in a minute, but I got it all trimmed up. I'll try to leave about a 1/4 inch of fat on the top. Now I peeled off all the hard fat on this thing, and I got a nice clean brisket on top. I left some little bit of hard fat right here because it's going to be cooking upside down. I'm hoping that'll just melt away. I was getting really into the deep in the meat, but I left some fat in there. I'm going to sprinkle that all real good with my seasoning I'm going to use. But there you go. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to smoke a brisket. It's probably going to take about 12 hours, and we'll see how it turns out. It'll be the first brisket, so criticize me, whatever you want to do. You know, if you leave positive comments, I probably will reply, but if you criticize me, you know, I was honest. This is the first brisket I've done. Now, like I said, it's, you know, early in the morning, and I know it's dark out here, and I apologize for that, but this is a smoker I'm going to use. I got to clean that shelf, but it's just a Academy smoker, and I'm going to go ahead and get the charcoal in here and lit. As you can tell, you know, I'm using charcoal just as a base starter. And then I'm going to use some seasoned oak that I have, and that's what I'm primarily going to burn. But I want a good coal base to get my temperature up, and I'm going to try to keep it about in between the 230 and 250 range. This thing really likes best at 200, but if I cook at 200, it's going to take close to 14 hours. And I'm only going to smoke the actual brisket for about 4.5 hours. Then I'm going to wrap it up and just let the cooker do the rest. Now there's my good seasoned oak I got. Can't find oak down here, but a lot, but I go up to Arkansas and get it. So until the next step. Okay, I got my coals going. Let me get a light here. I apologize for that. Got my coals going, got the wood on there. Now we're just going to wait, let this build up some temperature, and then we'll get to the seasoning process. Okay, it's seasoning time. I used 4 teaspoons of ground pepper, 4 teaspoons of sea salt, which is equal parts. To give it a little extra kick, gave it 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, just to give it a little bit of bite. Okay. We're going to take our mixture of salt, sea salt, and pepper. We're going to just lightly cover it. Real good. Now this meat's been washed. Everybody that's worried about it, it has been washed. I just wanted to skip a lot of the boring parts. I'm going to coat it fairly good. Make sure I get all of it. Hush, Stella. You got this side coated pretty good. Oops, I need to get right there. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over. I'm even going to do the fat side. Make sure I get all this real good. Well, with this, just, you know, light coats. I'm going to rub it around. And it's going to sit out here for another probably 30 minutes or so until my fire gets hot. It's already been sitting on the cabinet for about 30 minutes. Yeah, we had to run to the store and get some pepper. I'm just going to continue. I'm going to rub the sides pretty good. Let that work in there. And you can use whatever y'all want to use. Let's see how it's already taken into the meat. Now, let that sit there for a little while. But the secret ingredient is going to be grilled mates mozzarella steak. That's what I'm going to cover this thing in fairly generously. I even use this on pork. I use it on chicken. And I know it says steak, but this should give it a fairly good bark. And again, sorry about the camera movement. It's kind of hard to do everything one-handed. And just covered it and pat it in. Now when I cook this, I'm going to cook it fat side up. I'm going to put the thicker part closer to the heat. And that's what it looks like. I'm going to let it sit here for about 30 minutes. Then I'm going to go put it on the grill and then give y'all about a 4-hour update. So I'll see y'all soon. Okay guys, as you can tell, the brisket's on the smoker. I got it about 250 degrees. Still playing with the temperature, but I better shut this thing down. But I'll see what it looks like in 4 hours. Alright peoples, it's rested for 2 hours. Let's see how it looks. Bags ain't cooperating. Look at that color. Oh my gosh, look at that. Nice and, ooh, yeah, it's tender. It probably looks a lot darker on video than it actually is. And it's dark in my kitchen. But, see. Now, let me get this off this paper and we'll cut it open and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, peoples. I went ahead and cut it. I mean, and you can just pull it apart that easy. It has wonderful flavor. I am going to be honest, there's a little bit more bark than I'd really prefer. But that stuff can get trimmed off. But you can see nice colored bark. You can see the smoke ring real good on that one. But it tastes pretty good. But I am going to do some things different. But here's the general idea. And please like, comment, and subscribe. One little thing I forgot to mention was I did stick it in the ice chest and let it rest for 2 hours. And I'm not going to consider this brisket a total fail. It has too much bark on it, and I was hoping for less. But anyway, I'm just going to say, well, that was my first attempt, and I'm going to admit that I wish it would have came out differently. It doesn't taste that bad, but you know, I was just hoping for better. But I've learned some things, and we'll definitely give it another shot. All right, bye.